Hello students, today we'll discuss second unit of this subject, competitive programming first. The second unit consists the information about data structure, the basic concept related to the data structure, why it is important because the programs represent for these subjects are based on the basic concept which have been represented in the data structure. Until and unless you don't know about, if you don't have any information about the data structure, you might feel about difficulties to solve the problem statements. So what data structure you should understood is the selecting the right data structure can make an enormous difference in complexity of the resulting implementation. That means whenever you are going to solve, or whenever you are come across with a problem statement, you first find out the which data structure is important or which data structure has to be selected to overcome or to solve a given problem. It is an important which will reduce a lot of efforts, a lot of complexity while getting the implementation or getting the result of the given problem. Apart from that, the picking the right data representation and your task will be easy to program. Along with that, we should also find out what kind of representation, data representation you have to choose. That also depend on solving the given task. Pick the wrong representation and you may spend enormous amount of time and code covering up for very lousy initial decision. That means if you choose uh, different, or we may say that is wrong representation, the wrong data type for solving a particular problem, which will leads you to spend lot of time on the problem, and uh, which will leads to you to get the different result which is not suitable or which is not the exact result of the given problem. So here the understanding of data concepts are more important while choosing a particular data representation or particular data types. Apart from that, if we review the fundamentals of data structure, each every programmer should be familiar with, means every uh, data structure or every data type while you are going to use, you should familiar with all the data types so that you can easily utilize that data types in your given program. So in concern with that, we are going to discuss the basic or the more fundamental concepts of data structure, which are stack, queue, and apart from that there are the different concepts which are used in C language or in a data structure. We'll discuss the first is data structure. As we know, the data structure is last in first out order. The abstract operation on the stack includes the four operations which are performed on stack. Basically, stack is used to represent about the last in and the first out element within the array or within the stack. So the basic operation performed on stacks are push push of x comma yes, which represent insert the item x at the top of the stack. This is the first operation that we able to perform on a stack is inserting a element or inserting a data onto the top of the stack. Second operation is pop of yes. That means return and remove the top item of the stack. Here we can able to remove, or we can able to pick up, or we can able to delete the element from the stack which is represent on the top of the stack. There is only one way to remove or delete the element from the stack. It is from the top of the stack. And also, if we want to insert, that is if you want to push the element into the stack, there is only way is to push it from the top of the stack. The third operation is initialize of yes, create an empty stack. Initialization is nothing but first we should check whether the stack is empty or not. That is what the first step we can represent for the stack. Initially we need to find out whether the stack is empty or not. If it is empty, then you can able to put, or you can able to push the element onto the stack. If it is not, then you are not able to put or push any element onto the stack. The last operations which are full of yes, or we may say it is empty of yes. The test whether the stack can accept more push or more pops respectively. That means here you can able to find out whether you are able to push the element, or whether you are able to pop the element from the stack or not, by considering full full of yes, or the full of stack, or empty stack. So these four operations are basic operation which are performed on the stack. So what is the stack is going to be considered? Note that there is no element search operation defined on the standard stack and queues. Here one thing you should remember, that you are not able to, or you are not supposed to search the element within the stack and within the queue, because the stack and queue are not representing, or the not uh, used to perform such kind of operation, whereas the easiest implementation use an array with index variable to represent the top of the stack. Whenever you want to implement the stack, we should able, or we have to use the array with an index variable that will represent the top of the stack. An alternative implementation using the linked list is better because it cannot overflow. Instead of using array, you can able to use the linked list, where we are, or you cannot able to find out that linked list is overflow or not. The stack naturally models piles of object. So here we're going to see the example of a stack. You might come across with the going at the dinner. You might going to be see in a hotel such that dinner plates, after a new plate is washed, it is pushed on the top of the stack, or it is put one after another. And when someone is want, or someone is going for a dinner, or someone is going for a lunch, uh, a clean plate is popped off the top. Whenever you are taking the plate from the that stack, you can take the first one. You are not able to take the last plate from the stack. You can able to only take from the top of that stack. So this is what is representing about the stack. Generally it is representing with the operations push, pop, initialize, full, and the empty. Now the next concept in a data structure is going to be discussed about the queues. So what queues is basically representing about is first in first out order, as the stack is last in last out, where the the queue is representing the first in first out order, where the abstract operations on the queue includes in queue of x comma q, that is insert item x at the back of the queue, dq return and remove the front item from the queue, and last, or we may say it is the operation which are performed on the queue as queue is initialize, full queue or empty queue, that is analogous this operation on the stack is the same kind of operation that we have performed on the stack. Similarly, we can able to perform these operations on the queue also. So what queue is a more difficult to implement than a stack, because action happen at the both end. Why its queue is considered more difficult than the stack is because the operations which are performed on the queue are on the both end, where in the stack all the operations are happen on top of the stack. But here in a queue, the operations are happen from the both end, that means from the front and from the back, or we may say it is from the head and it is from the tail. So the easiest or the simplest implementation uses an array, inserting new element at the end and moving all remaining element to fill the empty space created on each queue. So if you see this scenario, you will find that if I am taking the array and if I want to insert the new element uh, at one end, then I need to move all the remaining element to fill the empty space which are created by the dequeue. Means whenever you are deleting any element from the head, I need to push all the element to one position to the next. But whether this one is uh, easy or whether this is more suitable, so I will say it is no. Why it is very wasteful to move all the element on each dq. Means whenever it's having a deletion of the element in the queue, if I am moving the element from one place to the next place, it is totally wasteful. So instead of that, what we can do is, so what is a better option is that we maintain indices to the first, that is head, and last tail element in the queue and do all operation locally. That means we should identify or we should maintain the indices, that is means index of the head and index of the tail element in the queue, and do all the operation locally. Do all the operation locally in the sense of whenever it is having the deletion, whenever it is having a dequeue, I should push or I should change the head of the queue instead of moving all the element to the next. There is no reason why we must explicitly clear previously used cell, although we leave a tail of garbage behind the previously dequeue element. By using this, we can able to say that is we can eliminate the tail with the garbage behind in the previous dequeue element. Now we'll see here one of the example which is used in the queue, or we can say the syntax or one sample representation of the queue. There is a solution to distinguish full from empty by maintaining a count of how many elements exist in the queue. So we'll see the algorithm for the queue, or we can say the code which is representing for how we can implement the queue. So here it comes from the declaration of the elements which are represented in the queue. So I have used here data type data def struct. This is the structure I am using here. In the structure, the elements or the members of the structures are integer q size plus 1, which is nothing but the size of the queue, int first, which is representing the position of the first element, int last, we are representing the position of the last element, and int count is generally used to represent about the counting of the element which are represented in the queue. And I have declared one object of this struct is queue. So first we'll see the queue initialization of the queue, that is int queue in a queue of pointer q, where the q tends to first is equal to 0, where q of last is equal to q size minus 1, as we are using the array here. So the array size minus 1 will be the size of the queue, and initially the count of the queue is equal to 0. So this is what the initialization we are doing here for the implementation of the queue. The first element of the queue is 0. The last element of the queue is queue size minus 1, as we are using the array, and the count will be a 0. This is what the initialization we are doing for my representation of queue. So next thing is, when we are representing the in queue, that means we are inserting the element within the queue. So queue of pointer q comma int x. So first thing I need to check whether the queue size, I need to find out if I want to insert the element within the queue, I need to check whether the queue size or the queue element reaches at the limitation of the queue is not. Okay, so how I can able to check that one? I need to find out if queue tends to count is greater than equal to queue size. If the queue count is greater than equal to queue size, means here if I am declaring the array size as a 10, so the count is reaches at the 9, so 9 is greater than equal to queue size is 9 here. So if it is reaches at the same, then it will give a message that is queue overflow sequences. So it will give the warning to the programmer that it reaches at the limitation or the limit of the queue size. Or if it is not, then you can able to insert the element within the queue, that is queue tends to last equal to q tends to last plus 1, so increment that one, and modulo divided by the queue size, where the q tends to last equal to x, and the q count will be incremented with the q count plus 1. Once it is inserted within the queue, along with that one should able to increase the count of the queue. This code or this representation is give the idea about how we can insert the queue within the element within the queue. Next is the deleting, or that we called it as dequeue from the queue. So what initially we consider here integer x. If here also we need to check whether the before doing the deletion of the element within the queue, we need to check whether the queue is empty or not. So how we can check the element is empty or not? By considering if statement, that is if queue tends to count is less than equal to 0. If it is there, then it will give the warning message, that is empty queue dequeue. So we can't able to delete the element from the queue. If it is not, then we can able to delete the element from the queue by using x is equal to q tends to first, where q tends to first equal to q tends to first plus 1 modular q size, and along with that you should decrease the q count by using q tends to count equal to q count minus 1, and one should the return the element which has been deleted from the queue, that is return x. The last step which is required here is separately we can check whether the queue is empty or not, that is by using if q tends to count is less than equal to 0 or return true, else return false. If it is not an empty, then it should be written as a false. So you can able to do the operation as nq, and afterwards you can able to do the operation as a dq. So this code is basically representing about how we can implement or how we can use the q data structure to insert and delete the element from the queue. Next we'll discuss the another concept which is used in the data structure is dictionary. So dictionary in data structure it comes with the various representations or the various types of data structures are basically used. So we'll discuss one of them or few of them, that is uh, which are consist of your linear or non-linear data structures. So what is this? Dictionary permits content based retrieval. The content based retrieval in the sense of the particular value I want to search from the given list, and I can able to put that value or I can able to insert that value or I can delete that value from the list, unlike the position based retrieval of the stack and queue. Position based is nothing but the index level representation of the stack and the queue, where we can able to find out its location, and from that location we can able to delete or insert the element. But here in the dictionary it allows you to retrieve or delete, or we can say perform the operation on the content based retrieval process. So what kind of operations it able to perform on the dictionary? These are the insert, delete and the search. As insert item x into the dictionary D, the delete, remove item x from the dictionary D, and the search returns an item with key k if one exists in the dictionary D. Whenever it is exists in the dictionary, then and then only we can able to search the particular operation or the particular element from the dictionary. Data structure course may implement dictionaries including sorted, unsorted, linked list, the sorted, unsorted array. So generally dictionary are representing about your sorted or unsorted linked list, or they are having a number of sorting techniques. You might come across with the linear search, binary search, or the sorting techniques are there, merge sort, quick sort. All this representation of data structures are nothing but a dictionary where you can able to retrieve the information or the retrieve the content from the list with the content based retrieval system. So in this we are having a three types of or the three uh, basic representation which are comes into the dictionary. One is a static dictionary. So what the static dictionary, it means the structure gets built once and never going to change, means nobody able to change any content within the structure or within this dictionary. Thus they need to support a search but not insertion on deletion. That means it only going to be support you about for the searching of the element or the searching of the value within the list, within the dictionary, but we are not able to insert or the delete element from the dictionary. So the right answer for static dictionary is typically an array. So this is one of the example of dictionary. The static dictionary is array where we can able to insert or the delete, only we can able to search the element within the list. The only real question is whether to keep it sorted in order to use binary search to provide fast membership queries. So in concern with this static dictionary, we can use the binary search, which will provide the more faster reliable representation while you are searching. The next one is semi-dynamic dictionaries. So semi-dynamic dictionary which will support insertion and deletion, insertion and searching queries, but not the deletion. The semi-dynamic dictionaries which more focus or the which we can able to use for the searching and the insertion, but we're not able to do the deletion on it. If you know an upper bound on the number of element to be inserted, we can use an array, but otherwise you must use the linked structure. Once you know the size of the content or the size of the element or the how many numbers of the elements are represented in the list or should be inserted on the list, then one can use the array, otherwise you should use the linked list. If you don't know about the size or if you don't know about the number of element which to be inserted, then you should use the linked list for a semi-dynamic dictionary. To implement this, basic thing is that we are able to use the hash table is one of the excellent dictionary data structure, particularly if deletion need not be supported. You should use the hash table for semi-dynamic dictionaries, and it comes with the two components of the hashing are defining the hash function to map key to the integer in a certain range. The first thing that comes under in the hash table or the hashing is we need to define the hash function and find out what kind of integer the range we able to represent it. And the second is setting up an array as big as this range so that the hash function value can specify an index. So second concept is that we should keep the array size as much as so that the hash function value can specify the array index. In regard with this, the third concept is fully dynamic dictionaries. So here also we are using the hash table as the fully dictionary dynamic dictionaries as well. Why it is because we the linked list with each table location we can able to do the insertion, deletion and query reduced to the same problem in the linked list. Along with that, this we are able to perform in the linked list. If the hash function does a good job, the yum key will be distributed uniformly in a table of size n, so each list will be sorted enough to search quickly. Here you can able to find out the yum keys will be distributed uniformly in the table size of n, means the number of keys or the number of element into the hash table will be m and the size of table will be n, so the list will be sorted enough and search quickly.